This is INC Now.
Good morning. Again, for those that might not have been here yesterday, I'm Lieutenant Bill Parker of the Bloomington Police Department, and I supervise the Investigations Division. I'll start out by saying that we don't have a revelation today or any big breaking news in the case. I wish we did. I'll go into a couple of specifics in a minute, but basically what we're doing is continuing our efforts along the same lines. We're continuing to do a lot of searches, both police searches and the volunteer searches. Along those lines, we have a new resource that we're going to tap into. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has a lot of expertise in searching. And when requested by a police agency, even though the person we're looking for may not be a child, they still will provide those resources. So a member of what they call their ADAM team, which is their field officers, is going to join us beginning with the first search this afternoon and help our sergeants coordinate those searches in the field in person. So we're going to tap into that resource. We're continuing with interviews of all associates and acquaintances, and basically just continuing our efforts. I know that Mr. and Mrs. Spierer will speak a little bit more about the searches shortly, and basically now I'm ready to take questions. Sure. We needed to obtain video footage that we've talked about video footage before, but we need to have it ourselves in a form, copy form or something like that as evidence. Any video, of course, that depicts Lauren. And we got a search warrant to do that, as it's not uncommon that private businesses wish to have that official paperwork, before they turn things over to us, and that's perfectly normal. So we did obtain a search warrant, but at some point when we were trying to serve that search warrant, we were denied access. So as any search warrant states, we can use necessary force to enter and obtain the things we need, and so we did do so. And that was after a lengthy consultation to examine alternatives. Eventually, after gaining that initial entry, we then did later get cooperation from the Smallwood personnel, and we've been assured that that will continue.
How many items did you see? That was for security camera footage as opposed to computer kind of stuff? Or?
Security camera footage, that's correct.
Okay, did you see Lauren Spierer in the video, and did you see anybody else with her?
We have video of Lauren going into the building, coming back out of the building, in the company of acquaintances. Yes.
Over what kind of a time span?
Well, I think that we've gone over this, but we believe that she arrived at Smallwood, which is where her apartment is, about 2:40 a.m., something like that, and was in the building for 10 minutes or so. She did not go to her apartment. She and the acquaintance that was with her came back out then, and the footage shows those events.
Is there any indication that the video on the hard drives had been tampered with or deleted in any way?
We have no indication of that.
Did this video show anything new? Did you see anything new from what you recovered last night?
No, we're still examining the video, and yes, we have looked at footage.
We're trying to actually acquire it, is that right?
Right.
And why the 4-day delay in getting those computer hard drives?
We've been working on that from day one, but again, as we're gathering these things up, we had asked for it just to be provided, and the company did not want to do it that way. They wanted us to take official action, so we needed to have the time to do that.
Why were you denied access to that stuff voluntarily?
That I don't know, sir.
Well, what did they tell you when you said let us in and they said no?
That's what they said.
Why?
They didn't say why.
Was there any specific tip or information that the police department received that said we need to go get those computers now and look at that?
No, sir.
Do you have any
There
indication
were
that
reports
anybody
that she walked from one of the locations part way with an acquaintance before she began to proceed home alone. If you've spoken to that acquaintance, can you tell us anything about why he, if that's true, why he might have left her company?
We have spoken to the acquaintances that were with her in going up to the other apartment on 11th, and then the acquaintance that watched her walk away, but I don't want to characterize or state what was stated at this point.
Did the acquaintance indicate to you why Lauren walked further up the street, and at what point they said goodbye and that parting?
Basically, I just will say that the acquaintance watched her walk away because she said she wanted to go home, and he watched her to see if she was making it all right, and then that's as far as he watched her.
Lieutenant, when you say you saw her with some acquaintances on video, did she appear that she was going on her own free will, that she was walking on her own? Was she forced in any way? I mean, there's anything to indicate that she wasn't going on her own?
We did not see indications on that video that she was being forced.
Did you see, or do you know if how many drinks she had at the bar, if she was back drinking?
No, sir, we don't know. Go ahead.
Why would the individuals each make sure that she was okay? Was she concerned about something?
It was 4:30 in the morning, and we had, they are saying that she had been drinking.
Is there any video surveillance opportunities in that apartment?
Pardon
Are
me?
there any video surveillance cameras around that area? The guy friend's apartment?
No. All right. Anything? I mean, that's all we need to talk about the video because that's all I can talk about. So, anything else?
Do you have any indication if anybody specifically was paying unwarranted attention to her? She may have been targeted in the day or days or hours up until her disappearance?
At this point, I can't really go into anything further right now on that.
The names of the acquaintances?
No, I can't right now.
Lieutenant, yesterday you mentioned that she has a boyfriend the family is familiar with. Is that someone that's from her hometown or someone that goes to school here?
He does go to school here.
Is he currently here?
Yes.
Was he here at the time? Has he been questioning connected at all?
He is a person that we've interviewed, sure.
Anyone from Smallwood
From Smallwood?
who works at Smallwood?
No.
In all of these searches, has anything of any value been recovered at all?
Of course.
What?
I'm not going to characterize the things that we've collected.
How many polygraphs have you administered in this case?
We're working on the polygraphs now.
When you say you collected things on the searches, is that volunteer searches?
The volunteer searches actually, and this is an opportunity to clarify something that I think is being confused. The information is out there that the volunteer search yesterday collected a purse from a park, and that purse was connected to a totally different case. We had a homicide last night that was totally unconnected, and the purse that was recovered by the volunteer searchers was connected with that new case, not connected with the Spierer case at all.
How many evidence that will focus on the search in one concentrated area or look at one?
We're doing both, and I would say that we will continue to concentrate searches in the same area, but we also, with the help of the National Center, want to spread these searches out now and start seeing if we, if the volunteers can just turn up anything.
Do you have any suspects?
No, I don't have anybody that we can characterize as a suspect.
How much of the city has been searched by police and by volunteers by this point?
Well, the entire city has been searched at least once, but we will continue to do it again. We'll be repeating those things.
Can you give a quick briefing on the homicide last night?
Well, the homicide last night was a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, and out on the west side of town, a neighbor saw an argument. They saw the victim and the person we believe is a perpetrator go inside the apartment, heard a lot of noise, shouting. The perpetrator then came out and left in the victim's car. That car is a dark blue Chrysler Concorde, about a 2000 model. And the person we're looking for is a person named Bruce Foster, and he's a black male. Then later on, when the victim didn't show up to work, we eventually gained entry to that apartment and found her dead of stab wounds in there.
Can you elaborate on what you mean by you have searched the entire city?
Every place in the city has been covered by officers. Large parts of it have been covered by volunteers, but we will continue to do that Some places, particularly closer around the 2 apartment buildings and the area between, have been covered multiple times, and areas close to that.
And do you see any reason at this point to extend your search beyond city limits?
Certainly, we want to extend it beyond city limits, and some of that's going to start happening today.
And do you have any information that specifically takes you to some part of the city versus another?
I do not have any specific information, so that's why we've concentrated on the searches closer in first, but we do want to go ahead and start expanding them out.
You didn't have any idea yet how many drinks she had. Do you think that her conditions, inebriated or sober, had anything to do with the level of her vulnerability? Can you characterize her condition at all?
Well, it certainly could have, in that we do sometimes see alcohol plays a part in people being victimized, but that's a very general statement, and that's the best I can do on that.
Have you done any aerial?
Not yet. Okay, at this point, I would like to go ahead and let Mr. and Mrs. Spierer talk. And after their talk, again, they will not take any questions. I'll go ahead and escort them out, and then I'll return for any follow-up questions.
Thank you. I'm sorry we were a little bit late today. Once again, wanted to thank everyone in the city of Bloomington. Have been terrific. All the volunteers that continue to come out, and as you may already know from the website that we've put up, iuhillel.org, these searches are 3 times a day. We've changed the morning search to 11 a.m. The second search is at 2 p.m. and the last search is at 5:30 p.m. It's really hot out there. These people are incredible coming out to volunteer. They're from everywhere, even from outside of the city of Bloomington. We've had quite a few friends come in from New York, and there's people from other parts of the country that have come in to join in the search, and we certainly need all the help we can get. The local merchants have, as I said before, have been great. The folks at Smallwood have been terrific. They have let us basically take over the front, and I would thank the residents as well. The front of Smallwood, where it was basically a meeting point every single day, multiple times a day. They let us use their offices, so thank you to the people at Smallwood. There have been a lot of people that have also, come out and done some, difficult searching, like the ROTC guys. They've been coming out every day, searching in very difficult wooded terrain area, not easy to do, and we thank them for doing that. And, I could just go on and on thanking people, because it's something that we need to keep up. It's critical that we focus on finding Lauren. We're not going to stop. This is going to be an everyday affair. I will be here. We will be, working and doing whatever we have to do to find Lauren and bring her home. We do have. I do want to say that we're asking people to contact the police with any information that they have. Now, I've asked this before. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too insignificant. What you need to realize is that every tip is anonymous. It will not be recorded. You can feel free to call. The lines are open 24/7. And there are 2 distinct tip lines that people can call. The first tip line, and I'll give both numbers. The first tip line is with the Bloomington PD, and that phone line will be covered again 24/7, and we've been assured that every tip is anonymous. That phone number is 812-339-4477. 812-339-4477. There's a second tip line that has now been set up. We've gotten some support from America's Most Wanted, and they have their own tip line, which is manned 24/7. All of their tips are anonymous as well, and the phone number there is 800-CRIME-TV, C-R-I-M-E-TV, 800-CRIME-TV. So we ask anyone with any information, as small as it may be, to please come forward and share it with the police or America's Most Wanted. And once again, we thank all of you for coming out and getting the story out to people and helping us find Lauren. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not going to take any more questions, but I'll just fill in a few things. I do want to clarify about the tip line here at the Bloomington Police Department. The tip can be anonymous. However, the call taker will ask if the person would like to identify themselves for future contact. So we will ask, but people that do not wish to provide that information, we will still take the information. The conference tomorrow will be at 11:30 again. Also, of course, we got all the email information. Very much appreciate that, that everybody left us. So if we have breaking news that we can release, we will use that email information to go ahead and send a press release out when we have it. Otherwise, again, I will be available at 11:30, and I believe Mr. and Mrs. Spierer will be available again at 11:30 tomorrow for another conference. I just want to say that I very much appreciate the way you folks are helping us out.